Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
Where you give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Yo, before we start, listen, subscribe, hit that bell so you can keep up with us. Shout out to our sponsor, Crime Scene Seasoning. For any kind of food that you want to barbecue or cook this summer, anything you want to throw on the grill, put it there in your house, anything you want to bake in the oven, Crime Scene Seasoning is here for you. It's also made by Doc Loves the Kids, a nonprofit organization supporting children, homeless, and the less fortunate here in Kitsap County.
Off top.
Yes. Breaking news, though. President Joe Biden on Tuesday signed an executive order that will temporarily shut down asylum requests once the average number of daily encounters tops 2,500 between official ports of entry, according to a senior administrative official. The shutdown would go into effect immediately since the threshold has already been met, a senior administration official said. The border would reopen only once the number falls to 1,500. The president's order would come under the Immigration and Nationality Act, Section 2112 or 212F, that was initially put in by Donald Trump, 215A, suspending entry of non-citizens who cross the southern border of the United States unlawfully. The official said that the migrants who don't meet the requirements of having a credible fear when they apply for asylum will be immediately removed. And they anticipate that they will be removing those individuals in a matter of days, if not hours.
Man, I feel like, this is the best thing that he could have done at this point in time. He tried to get a bill passed, which was blocked by Donald Trump and the Republican Party. This was a bipartisan deal that was put forth by, I think, a guy from like Oklahoma or something. It's an Oklahoma Republican, which is a deep red state Republican, who helped him with this bill. This bill would have put, I think it was 10,000 or 20,000 new border agents at the border. They would have put cameras up. It was a lot of stuff. They had enough. They would put more border judges at for court there. What took the time to process these people from like 6 years to 6 months. We could have got them out of there within 6 months. Just easy, no nonsense border kind of control laws.
Yeah. And I guess in 2018, the Trump administration tried to enact similar border restrictions, but the court blocked them. The Biden administration now expects to defend the executive order against legal challenges. The executive order will also have exceptions, including unaccompanied children. In a written statement, Donald Trump campaign spokesman claimed that the exemption would give a green light to child trafficking and sex trafficking. I mean, you mean like more? Because last time they did all that border stuff, a lot of children went missing. But no, this is great for Joe Biden. And the whole thing is, when he first came up with the bill trying to do it, Donald Trump should have been like, let's do it. And show that he wants America to function correctly. But he didn't. He said, no, walk away from that. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Wait till I get in office. So, like this. You wouldn't take office until what, February? No, wait, January 6th, February.
It will be January 20th. It's like
that's what you wouldn't take office. So the border's not that bad if we have a whole year to wait.
It's been flooded. We've gotten a lot of people coming in at the border. Yes. I think a lot of times we're just not understanding the true concept of why they're letting people in. Everyone's like, they're trying to replace. I heard Candace Owens say something like they're trying to replace the black vote.
Who cares what Candace Owens has to say at a time like this? My bad. Go ahead.
Understandable. You know what I'm saying? I don't either. But at the same time, though, other people are saying, hey, they're bringing us in to replace us, take our jobs, where they don't understand it's really about fertility rate and everything like that. The United States have like a 1.66 fertility rate. That's 1.66 babies for every one woman. You need 2.2 to replace that. If there's two people, you need like 2.2 to replace me, you, and then another 0.2.
We talked about this too, man. Americans aren't having babies because we can't afford them. Daycare is $600 a month, or no, excuse me, a week.
You look at it like this, though. This border plan right here, you can't tout it as anything more than what he could have done before. But if it's me, like I say, I'm trying to get a bill passed because we both know how executive orders, once a new president gets in, they can just cut those off and then it never happened. But
yeah, just like Donald Trump got rid of the train regulations.
Yeah.
And then boom, we had that's the train crash in Ohio. And then he got rid of the EPA, I believe, Environmental Protection Agency. He dumbed that down. And now we're having... America is the number one place for tornadoes.
It's always been that, though. It's always been that way. We have a corridor.
It's because the warm air from the Pacific Ocean and the cold air from the Atlantic Ocean, when it meets, it creates tornadoes, and it just happens to meet in the middle of America. And see, that's why you should have kept the buffalo, because when the buffalo left, the natives was like, yo, we out too.
This guy is crazy, but this bill could really. I'm not gonna sit here and tout it like it's something that's revolutionary. It's something that, like I said, could have already been done. Wasn't done because he felt like he needed a bill. Got a bill on the table. Republicans blocked it, and now we're at the point we're at right now where everyone's angry about how many migrants. I saw something. I'm not sure how true this is. They were saying something about 65,000 New York migrants are about to be without housing, in which I was figuring, okay, are the vouchers running out down there? What's going on? I don't know how I just saw like the
migrants don't have housing. I mean, ooh, welcome to America.
I'm just saying 65,000 people on the streets is a lot. I don't know. Like I say, we don't know.
Welcome to America.
I have to go back and look that one up. But that we'll see what happens with this law. I don't think Republicans are going to go try and block them, which would be stupid. Why would you try to block something which you've asked them to already do? But people do. Stranger things have definitely happened.
Can they really block his executive action? They could try. You check it out. There's 350,000 homeless people in New York.
Another 65,000 that will weigh on the will weigh on it a lot. You know what I mean? 65,000.
The 65,000 that got a home before the 3,500. Ooh, welcome to America. Get a job.
I'm just saying.
Well, they tell us, get us some boots with some straps on them.
On another note, Trump team rewarding witnesses in ex-president's criminal cases. Donald Trump's businesses and campaign committees have given significant financial benefits to at least 9 witnesses in the various criminal cases against the former president, and what legal experts say could amount to witness tampering. One campaign aide had his salary doubled. Another received a $2 million severance package, $2 million severance package, barring him from voluntarily cooperating with law enforcement. This comes as Donald Trump has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to annul his guilty verdict in New York.
Annul his guilty? He was paying them off.
I mean,
look, I got one here. Susie Wiles, a senior advisor for Trump's 2024 campaign, who allegedly witnessed Trump showing off classified documents, also saw a big bump in pay after being called to the grand jury before Trump's indictment in that case. Her pay jumped from $25,000 a month to $30,000 a month, and her consulting firm receiving a hefty $75,000, according to ProPublica. Hope I said that right. That's crazy. That's witness tampering.
Man, like I say,
you know, it's crazy. That's like you running up on like your homeboy and his girl had a DV because they like to fight each other. You run up on the girl like, yo, don't go to court. Don't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't even answer when the prosecutors come. You know what I'm saying? That's witness tampering.
Hey, I see it the same way, man.
But and they're trying to say they're trying to get the case dropped because he didn't pay off enough people.
There's
or something?
9 witnesses, man. He's done this with. He gave somebody $2 million severance package. I'm not sure what the severance package would have been before this.
You guilty as hell.
I mean, but at the end of the day, like they said, this is Teflon Don we talk about right here. You know what I mean? And so if he can get away with this, then anybody should be able to get away with it. I don't think that when a person is doing things that are so egregious and so like obvious to what's going on. I mean, he's already then broke gag orders.
Yeah,
he's just got found guilty for 34 felonies. When does it stop? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I he's trying to, like, at this point in time, he's looking at it like
he got to stretch that white privilege. I mean, they letting him get away with it.
You see what he said? I think I sent you the thing where he's like, they're asking him, will you turn over the JFK papers? He's like, yep. Will you give us the 9/11? Turn over the 9/11 papers? Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you whatever you need to hear.
Anything. I think he's willing to. The Epstein papers, he kind of stalled, but he did end up saying yes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Nah. They get rid of him on the Epstein papers. Look, if you can send an assassin to kill a judge, a federal judge.
They did that. Didn't they kill their son?
The judge wasn't home. They killed the son and the husband.
That is
and then the assassin killed himself. If you can do that and it's just like a day news, 2-day news, man, that's some powerful people. Think about it, they had homeboy in the UK. They must own the airlines too because they was flying over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people were murderers.
Hey, you see, I mean, this is like something that's off the subject. We'll
ain't putting me on no damn milk carton.
But there was a judge for the ICC or for the NATO court or something like that. She's a black judge they had on there, and she was prosecuting something that had to do with Israel. And they came to her. She said this. She said, "Hey, they came to me and said, you don't want to get yourself wrapped up in something or get your family hurt or something." They came at her like that, like just like she stepped down, like, I'm out of here, because she understands that she don't want to end up like that judge who you're just talking about.
Or the first judge they had, I believe it was in New York. It was the first Muslim judge, and they chased her down the street and murdered her in a
they dump her like in a park or in a lake or something.
Yeah, in a lake. You know what I'm saying? And nothing. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But the only judges that can't be touched, you know what I'm saying, are the ones sitting on the Supreme Court, man.
I mean, I don't know. Hold on. Before you, I know where you're heading with this one. Because I want to say it wasn't. I can't remember his name right now, but he died at like a resort place that was one of his donors or somebody he deals with owned at the resort. He just died there mysteriously. It's like one of the last judges to die. Like, wasn't Ruth Gator? Wasn't Ruth? It was another one. It was a Republican appointee, and it's not Alito because Alito's still here. Scalia, it might have been Scalia, died.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Justice Scalia died at just mysteriously. So you never know.
I mean, you never know. Nah, not these Supreme Court justices. I mean, even Alito. They're saying, justices have the authority to decide independently when to draw from cases, as highlighted by Roberts. Alito's maintaining that the flag flown by his wife at their residence in Virginia and New Jersey did not necessitate his recusal from the January 6 hearings. You know what I'm saying? This is the whole thing. These people are above the laws. It's basically the article, Supreme Court rejects Dems' request on Alito flag controversy. So if most people don't know, at his residence, his wife was flying the American flag upside down, which is the signal she was unified with the January 6 people. Then they had the pine tree flag, which don't make no damn sense to me. Mm-hmm. It says, Roberts expressed reservations about engaging in meetings with leaders from only one party who have shown interest on ongoing court matters, deeming such a format unwise. Think about it. These people don't have to step down. And I read this article, I'm like this. If you can't get black ass Thomas off the Supreme Court, you ain't getting nobody else off. And his wife bust January 6 people to DC.
Hey, and that was crazy that she actually got away with that. They're not even speaking about this, really.
Yeah, no, they only talk about it on Twitter.
And he won't even. You look at it like this. Alito's like, both of them blaming stuff on their wives. First, Clarence Thomas said, I don't really speak to my wife about what her personal matters are and what she does, so I don't know what she had going on with January 6th.
Of course, look at them. They ain't fucking.
You know what I mean? But okay.
They ain't got a good Wednesday.
You shouldn't be allowed to just blame stuff. If you're sitting in the highest court of the land. You can't blame nothing on your spouse. Your spouse is all in with you because you got a lifetime appointment.
That's your wife. You're married.
Period. I bet you if the house went up for foreclosure, some of you guys is gonna hit both of y'all credit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. So you guys are in this together.
Yeah.
Period.
No, they're together. I mean, there's no. Your wife goes down with you. That's usually what happens. It's his house. Is he the man of the house or is she the woman of the house? Regardless, it's a catch-22. You can't come home, see the flag, and be like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? And it came out months later. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it's a tough, like I say, it's a tough kind of a position to be in. But we both know that he should recuse himself from.
He should recuse himself. Clarence Thomas should. But think about it. Then that's 2 Republican justices that are involved with the January 6th stuff. That's why I was saying in the beginning when we first started this, America is gone. The reason we're all pretending it's still here is because people still want us to pay taxes.
You think that's the only reason why? Huh?
Of course. That's the only reason they're playing along with this so we can still pay taxes. You think if they take over a dictatorship, we're going to have to pay taxes still? Yes.
I mean, absolutely, we got to pay taxes. Taxes ain't going nowhere. Don't matter what happens, man. Taxes aren't going anywhere.
Throw some tea in the water. That's what we need to do.
That's what we're doing right now. I feel like that's what the country's doing on both ends right now. People are angry from the Republican side. They don't even want to call themselves Republican. They talk about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to call myself a Democrat. I'm still figuring out how to change that. I want to be an independent. A little off topic though. You ever see those people? Remember those people? They always get them together and they're undecided, and they be having them on the news. I always be like, "Shut your ass up! You know who you voting for. You just want to be special."
They know exactly who they're voting for. They may just not want to say it on camera. I mean, that's how I kind of look at it. People don't want to.
Well, that's how my mom is. My mom was a wise woman. She said, "My mom, who you voting for?" She said, "None of your damn business." And if people just thought like that and didn't just outright say who you voted for and which party you're with, we'd all probably get along here in America.
Absolutely. I mean, but at the same time, though, it kind of matters, man, because you know who you're dealing with. When you know how a person, especially now, maybe it didn't hit that way before as badly, but right now, man, the way you vote matters, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? These people, it's like one side is one way, or the other side is sort of the other way.
Some people are okay with taking away women's rights, and some people are okay with cutting kids' dicks off.
I mean, that's an absolute thing. I'm saying I don't even know if it's kids, but you're talking about, yeah, okay. Yep. Talking about cutting somebody's genitals off, Louisiana lawmakers approve surgical castration option for those guilty of sex crimes against kids. Louisiana judges could order surgical castration for people convicted of sex crimes against young children under legislation approved Monday. And if Republican Governor Jeff Landry signs it into law, the state apparently will be the first with such a punishment. The GOP-controlled legislature passed a bill giving judges the option to sentence someone to surgical castration after the person has been convicted of certain aggravated sex crimes, including rape, incest, and molestation against a child under 13.
Good.
A handful of states, including California, Florida, and Texas, have laws in place allowing for chemical castration. In some of those states, offenders can opt for the surgical procedure if they prefer. But the National Conference of State Legislators said it is unaware of any states that allow judges to impose surgical castration.
That's crazy. It's not crazy. I mean, like you out here, if they have the proof that all this is happening to these children, yeah, cut his dick off. They should let the mom do it. They should let the mom grab it and be like, look him in the eyes and then throw it in his face. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, as long as you go through the whole system, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. But
to me, man, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, no one likes a child molester.
Nobody.
No one likes a rapist. No one likes any of that kind of stuff.
Only the U.S. government does.
I don't know about that's a tough one.
Really? Then why haven't they done anything to him?
They throw him in prison, man.
The Catholic Church is still functioning. The Epstein list, ain't nobody went to jail.
But look,
all them kids went missing in Mexico.
That's factual. Listen,
they never found them.
But okay, this is how I look at it right here, man. We got to look at what's going on with women's rights in Texas. This is not to change the subject. Same exact subject. Now, women, if you get an abortion, they can they can lock you up for having a miscarriage. You understand what I'm saying? So this
the lady had a miscarriage in the bathroom and didn't know what to do, so she flushed.
They're trying to give her life in prison. Like, we got to start looking at where these laws are heading. These are becoming arcane laws, like medieval type shit they're trying to do to people. Eventually, they're going to say, well, if you steal something, I'm going to cut your hand off. That's what's going to be.
Soon they're going to be like, they're going to check. The only way these laws are going to get reversed is when they start checking men's nutsacks to see if they've jacked off or not.
What?
Because jacking off is a sin. Masturbation is a sin in the house of the Lord.
Listen, but what I'm saying though, bigger than that,
I'm serious.
But look at the Central Park 5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Say they gotten convicted of this crime right here, they would have all been castrated, and then they come back out, they're not guilty. I'm not saying everybody who goes through this type of a situation is not guilty. That's not what I'm saying. But at the same time, though, we're giving too many people, like, with emotion, too much power. You know, that's because a lot of this stuff is built off of emotion. This is not to say it's not a very emotional thing for something like that to happen to someone, because it is.
Show me a popular kid that you know from high school or college, or no, from high school or junior high that's in politics. There's not. You want to know why? All the people that are politicians right now are all them kids you wouldn't hang out with and you used to bully. And know what they decided to do? They said, when I get older, I'm going to have power and I'm going to fuck everybody. Like Ted Cruz.
You think that's what they got on their mind? They're just angry with everyone about everything.
Yeah, of course.
I think they go off of people's anger, man.
No, they go off their own.
You get a parent who's coming up here. What are you gonna do about this, that, and the third? You know, I think they go.
And I'm not disagreeing with the law in Louisiana. I think it should be sound. If you like to touch little kids, rape children, do all that nasty stuff, you should be castrated. You actually should be stoned in the streets. You actually should let the prisoners handle you, and then, you know, what's his name? Cell Block C, Booker T, get in that ass.
What the hell?
You know what I'm saying? Leave the kids alone. Wu-Tang is for the children.
I guarantee. I agree 110% that they need tougher laws against that. Period. Plain and simple, man. They got to protect the children. They got to protect women. It has to happen. That's not disagreeing with that. I just disagree with the fact of giving people, from an emotional standpoint, that much power. Because where does it go from there? Because then they're going to because once you give them the law, they're going to expand upon it. Yep. They do that to everything. Everything that we've ever had, they expand upon the law. Next thing you know, they're changing it, nuancing it. Oh, well, if it's this happens, then we're going to change it and you know, and make the law even broader. Okay, now if there's a kid and they send pictures and this happens or some weird shit, you know what I mean? Like,
because for a while, I remember they were getting teenagers with trafficking and
come on,
kid porn, because if a teenage girl sent a nude picture to another boy and he showed another kid,
stuff that we do as adults, man, that we, like, if I was a kid, we would do the same thing because we were young and stupid. We would have done that. I wasn't around for that era of where you could send pictures to each other, but kids would have definitely done that. Now they're getting sex crimes for that. You know, like, imagine a person, okay, you piss outside, because you can get a sex crime for peeing outside.
Yep, if somebody sees you.
It don't even matter.
Exposing yourself.
I mean, it doesn't matter if the person, if they see you, of course, someone has to see you in order for it to be crime. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if someone even sees what you're actually doing. They can just be like, oh, he peed out. Somebody look like he's pissing outside. Oh, you get a sex crime for that.
Well, they have to see your penis.
I don't think they do. I think you just got to be pissing outside.
No, you can pee outside all you want, but if you're peeing and people can see your penis and the pee coming out your penis, then you're exposing yourself.
You're making these laws where they actually have this much like credibility to them, and they don't, man.
Yeah.
It's just like a person's on the side of the road peeing. Nobody can even have to see his penis or not. They just can see him with his pants down a little bit.
Well, who still pees with their pants down? We ain't six. Excuse my language.
Not like down to your knees.
I get what you're saying, though, but it's like, I mean, you got to be strategic. You know, like if the traffic's coming behind you, you got to walk to the front tire.
Prosecutors spent first days of testimony in Hunter Biden's gun trial detailing his drug problems. Federal prosecutors on Tuesday painted President Joe Biden's son Hunter as deceptive and driven by addiction, a man whose dark habits ensnared loved ones who knew what he was doing when he lied on a federal forum to purchase a gun in 2018. Jurors also got their first look at the document at the center of the case, and Hunter Biden's attorney argued that his client did not believe he was in the throes of an addiction when he stated in the paperwork that he did not have a drug problem. In the short time that he had the gun, he did nothing with it. The weapon was never even loaded, attorney Abby Lowell said in an opening statement. So, I mean,
this is stuff they do to black folks.
This is,
you know what I'm
crazy,
saying?
bro.
This is what they do to black folks. They want you for something, so they just make up a crime for you. Like, hey, you bought a gun. You didn't shoot nobody, but you bought a gun. You might have been on drugs. We don't have a drug test from then, but we suspect you was on some drugs. So we're just going to charge you with a whole bunch of stuff.
It's crazy, man.
Crazy.
Like, for the people who sit back and they're so angry about, because there's only one crime that, I mean, the one right now that he's getting charged with the campaign fight, whatever, you know, I don't really feel like that was a big deal in my opinion, because, you know, you paid a chick not to basically bust him out that he's knocking her off on the side. I'm not tripping about that. Who cares? However, if you guys can like be angry about this is some big rigged thing, it's set up, you're going after him, even though it's illegal to use campaign
finances
to
pay off porn stars
and then lie about it on paperwork and everything else. That's illegal. It's illegal. You should be angry about them going after a person who has no criminal record. How many people have been high? Not even saying you're high when you went to go buy the gun, but if the weeds, and we all know that if you run a drug test on somebody, weed's going to stay in your system for 30 days or more. You know what I mean?
You know, it's crazy. It's like, you know, these politicians, they look at Hunter Biden and they talk so much trash about him for being on drugs. A lot of Americans have addiction. I've struggled with addiction before. A lot of people are struggling with addiction right now. To villainize these people that aren't committing crimes, they're just struggling because the pharmaceutical companies.
Let's look at what they did with as soon as fentanyl hit. Because it wasn't crack, because it wasn't affecting the black community.
No, they got safe injection sites.
Happen here. Oh my gosh, let's start making drug courts. Let's make these people so they don't have any crimes. They're addicted. They don't need to go to jail. They in Portland, Oregon, they cut it so these are no longer having drugs was no longer even a crime.
They reversed that real quick. They reversed that.
Do it for? They didn't reverse it that quickly. It's been years.
No, they just reversed it last month.
I understand, but it's been years.
You know, they had sympathy for people. So like for them to go after Hunter Biden like this, it don't make no sense.
Everything else, man. Having trials. They had a trial. This guy named Rayful Edmonds. He had a trial where they told the people you can't even see the jurors. They painted these kids. They was like 21 years old, 22 They made it so that they blacked out the juror box so that they couldn't even see them. They basically made the jurors feel like these guys are that dangerous. So if you see them, if they even see you, they might kill you. What do you think you're gonna do if you feel like you're already in danger? They can't even see you. This is how dangerous these people are. Come on, man. And so you guys are angry about him purchasing a gun. He's not a felon. He wasn't a felon at the time he purchased the gun.
You can't even prove he was on drugs at the time.
They're going to use his laptop probably.
The laptop that was stolen.
Around this time, the laptop that was stolen. Another thing, too, his laptop that they got all this information from, he took in to get fixed somewhere. The dude who had his laptop went inside of his laptop into secret, into places in his laptop that he's not supposed to go. He knows it. He just used his computer savvy, tech geeky ass to go inside of this dude's laptop and start stealing documents and also putting things inside of here. He kept doing that 5 months after he had already fixed it.
I mean,
5 months after. So, and then now you're cool.
Think about after you can fix a laptop in 2 weeks. 5 months, you just thinking of things to do.
I don't even think he even had it for 5 months. He may have had it. I don't know. Don't quote me on that part. But if say he didn't, you could just keep on accessing things because you have you're in there now.
Yeah.
And now, so what are you putting in and what are you taking out? Who are you cooperating with and talking to in order to be able to know, oh, hey, I got Hunter Biden's thing. Who's paying you? No one's asking these questions. They just want to blame a person who's not the president who I never voted for, he's never ran for public office, never done anything like that, but everyone's so angry. I remember when I bought a house, I had he was a mortgage broker, mortgage agent, whatever you want to call him. I went to his office, right? This guy, he's a white dude. I go sit in his office. He sits down on his desk, and right above his head is a Make America Great hat. It looked like it was sitting on top of his head. That's how it looked. When you walk in his office, his chair was perfectly aligned to where it looked like the hat was sitting on his damn head.
That's what's up. I like that design.
No, I mean, that's why I wanted to cuss. This is when everything was like,
when I had my last job, they would.
This is during, and so look, I go in there and I'm sitting there and I'm talking to him, and this dude starts talking to me about Hunter Biden in the middle of me purchasing the property. He's talking to me about Hunter Biden. Why? Everybody who I know brings up Hunter. I said, man, did I vote for Hunter Biden or somebody?
Exactly.
I don't think I voted. I don't even know who the hell Hunter Biden is.
I don't talk about race, religion, or politics in public. That ain't my thing. I want to enjoy my corn on the cob and my glizzies, my hot dogs.
Hey, I'm gonna let you know what it is at the end of the day, because someone needs to step up and say something, because most times we don't get spoken up for, and that's just the way it is. So
speaking of stepping up and saying something, Joe Biden came out the other day and he said he doesn't rule out sending U.S. troops to Taiwan in case of Chinese invasion. The United States may deploy its troops to Taiwan in case of a Chinese invasion, according to U.S. President Joe Biden, not ruling out using a military force. The distinction between deploying on the ground, air power, or naval power, according to the president, it would depend on the circumstances. So, if Taiwan got to fall, let it fall.
Are you serious?
Dead ass.
You can't, man.
We could.
It's not smart.
It don't make no sense to send. I don't want American lives going over there. Okay, say America goes over there, they defeat them. What's Taiwan giving us besides GI Joes?
Taiwan probably don't even make GI Joes.
They used to say "Made in Taiwan" on the back of my GI Joe's ass. Yeah, totally. I love my GI Joes. Kung Fu grip, baby.
They're giving us microchips. They're giving us. I mean, you gotta understand. Okay, first of all, that's one thing they're doing right there.
Yeah, but I hate to be off subject, but China's making them sex dolls. So whose side you on?
I need the chips, man. I don't need a sex doll. I'm not really tripping about.
I don't need chips. I can buy chips at the store.
But look,
I need to save money.
So they're making those chips. At the same time, though, we have to understand Taiwan's a strategic partner. Not only is Taiwan, people are watching. It's like watching Ukraine. People are watching to see what we do in Taiwan. We've told Taiwan we're going to defend you. We're here for you. We're giving them weapons. We're giving them money. And people see us back away when it comes time. There's a whole block of other countries down there that are kind of on the fence about who they're going to side with.
Well, no, I mean, we got to back them up. We got to back them up. I just don't want U.S. support going over there. I mean, there's a lot of weird things going on.
We have to, man. It's not about that. It's a bigger global game that we're playing. Man, once we start losing certain like sea rights and things like that and shipping rights, things change for our country. The reason why we can ship products and do certain things the way we can do it is because we're strong in that region. We got the Philippines over there. I've already named everybody. We have it. I think one of our last ones. We have Guam. We got Japan, South Korea. We got Australia. We got Singapore. There's a few other countries like Vietnam. We have a strong block, and
how is Australia stayed out of all this?
Man, because they're out the way. Really, they're not really out of it because we just gave them. We've given nobody else. We've given like a nuclear submarine, which we've given to nobody else, but we gave it to them. We're setting up a nuclear submarine program for them over there so they can start patrolling in that. We got to understand that that's a huge shipping lane. That's probably like, I think 60% of the world shipping goes. I mean, there's a lot of
America's just big, man. They got their fingers in a lot of stuff. I mean, even it says Ukraine appears to have struck prize air defense system on Russian soil using U.S. supplied HIMARS. The attack came amid a flurry of reports suggesting a major Ukraine attack over the weekend. I mean, and Russia came out and said, "Hey, whichever country's missiles hit us, we coming for that ass." So we're spread thin through all these conflicts here, the Red Sea.
Keep on being scared, but that's what Putin does. He's scared. He tries to push buttons, which he knows.
I ain't scared. I live in America. I'm over 35. I ain't got to go to war. I can sit right here on my roof.
What it is he tries to scare our general public out of war with just his bluster, his talk. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And so what? You already are doing it. I had to tell somebody the other day, you've already in 2008 invaded Georgia, South Ossetia. You've already done that. 2008. 2014, you went and basically invaded Crimea. You know what I mean? You've already been doing this. This guy was on our page. These guys don't want it. Putin doesn't want to invade any other countries in the old Soviet bloc. He doesn't want to do that. So how do you know? You talk to him, first of all, and second of all, he's already shown that he's been doing it. He's already been doing it. He's invading the country right now. So we think he's going to stop there. Sometimes you got to stop. Sometimes we got to kick somebody's ass somewhere else in order to make these other people look at them like, okay, they serious about this shit. Because China don't want to go through what Ukraine's going through right now. I mean, not Ukraine, but Russia's going through right now. Say we stop Russia and Ukraine, which we need to. Do you think that China wants to show the world what how strong that they truly are?
Joe Biden just came out and said China's economy is on the brink. Because
nobody knows. They are, man. They're about to have to buy up their whole real estate market. Pretty much, their government is. It's like a huge real estate market, thousands and thousands of homes. I think they have. There's damn near almost. I think they have over like. I don't get me to saying the number.
Yeah, no, you good.
It's millions of homes that they have are just sitting there empty or half built and everything else, because what they did is they basically said we got billions of people that we have to find jobs for. We have all this extra money in reserve. Let's just pump it out and build homes and see if people want to move into them. They didn't move into them. They didn't have the money to. It didn't make sense for them. And right now they're going through a hell of an economic turmoil.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money the government's going to have to basically take over their whole entire housing market, buy it from these real estate agents because they're going to tank it. It's like the same thing that happened to us in 2008, but worse. Is about what they're going through. They don't have the means to go through this right now. And then they just don't want to lose that kind of a war. Because a lot of people know their Navy's not that great. Their airplanes aren't that good. They don't want people to see, because their next door neighbor is India. Say India watches this. You know how you see somebody going to watch him scrap. You're like, okay, let me see how good he can fight. If he can't fight that good, you might be willing to test him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, you ain't what we thought you was. People looking at Russia like that right now. Russia looking like fresh meat right now. You can't beat your next door neighbor.
Yeah, because they're getting supplied now. Yeah, they're getting weapons from other countries.
I mean, that's how I see it, bro.
Did you want to talk about the lady that's built like, yeah, go ahead.
He said, hey, I'm not addressing him as a doctor. Fauci's hearings gets heated. This is a hearing featuring Dr. Anthony Fauci, the guy who was around during COVID, where we all should know a little bit about Fauci, descended into the type of dramatic, attention-grabbing, partisan infighting that has come to define the 118th Congress. It is a dynamic that's leading many of the House low-key workhorses to head for the exits, making way for the ranks of more bombastic legislators to grow. Fauci, the former director of the National Institution of Allergy and Infectious Disease, testified Monday morning before the House Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic. It was Fauci's first appearance on Capitol Hill since 2022, when he ended a decades-long government career that saw him emerge as public face of the federal government's efforts to combat COVID. The appearance came as former Fauci aide David Morans has come under bipartisan fire for using a personal email to communicate about COVID origins, bypassing federal disclosure rules. Fauci clashed bitterly with many of the Republicans on the panel, but the testiness of those exchanges paled in comparison to the hostility he faced from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Greene, who refused to address Fauci with the honorific doctor instead of referring to him as Mr. Fauci. The whole entire time that she's sitting here talking to him, she's like, Mr. Fauci, Mr. Fauci. I mean, she just has the most annoying voice in the world. I hope we could put a clip of what she was going through on here. She's
appropriate. Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor. You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. No, I don't need your answer.
Through on here. She's showing like little slides and stuff of what's going on. You're at a park. He's at a baseball game with like him and two other people, and it was during when the pandemic was really in full swing. And they got masks on, but his is like right below his mouth. And they're sitting right next to each other when they're telling everybody to distance 6 feet. He explained. He had a few things where he was like, I kind of just was kind of just going at made up as we went along. He said some things in some articles that he said was taken out of context.
You know what happened? Let me say this. When COVID first hit, people were dying. It was a fast, ravaging virus, and no one knew what to do. He was the person that we were looking to for advice. He said, put on masks. Some of you fought it. He said, social distance. These are things that are just in the books. Now, what's her name? MTG. I'm not going to listen to her. I don't trust nobody that's built like Stretch Armstrong. MTG is a weird-looking woman. Looks like she used to eat bicycle seats as a child.
And then she's sitting there. Man, you should have heard her talking, man. It's just crazy, man. I would have cussed her out. I would have cussed her out.
Looks like she flexes in the mirror wearing boxers.
I would have called her all kind of names. She's been sitting there disrespecting. You should be in prison. This is what she says. Mr. Fauci, because you're not doctor, you're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. That man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked and he belongs in prison, she said. Greene repeatedly talked over and berated Fauci during her questioning and at one point cutting him off saying, nah, I don't want it. I don't need your answer. Now, listen, there was like three people, a man and like there was a man, like a younger kid, he's probably in his teens, maybe early 20s, and a woman. And you could tell these was like these are your trailer trash, you know what I mean? Like they're laughing the whole time. You could tell why they're there. Yeah. You know what I mean? That if you watch them in the clip, you guys go back and you ever watch that panel right there, watch them in the clip, and they're just laughing and joking. I'm like, that's Trump. That's MAGA right there.
This is just MAGA what politics has become. It's a joke. Why is Fauci even up there anymore? COVID is still going. It's still happening. It's not as deep as it was, but why are they bringing him up there?
They act like people are like, oh, it wasn't that bad. What
are you talking about? We shut the government down.
I got COVID. It was bad. It was horrible.
Yeah, I hate it.
When I had it, I was like, man, shit, if I was like 80 years old, I'd probably be dead. Because to me, it wasn't like a cold. It was a body. My body was just sore.
Yeah.
As a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It was bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't even move. You know, so I'm imagining what you're going through if you're older, say you're in your 80s or your 70s or whatever, man, it's a wrap. And so, I mean, for people to be angry with him when he does not know what something is, when you don't know the repercussions, we don't even know the long-term repercussions of this. We're all angry about the shot, which I didn't take the shot, but I mean, we're all angry about that. But we don't know the long-term effects of that. But who touted the shot is I came up with this less than a year and got it right out to the market. Your guy, Trump. He's the one that you guys should all be angry about because he's the one came up with the shot and said it was not him personally, but you understand.
He was president during the time. He could have stopped all that stuff. He didn't have to shut the government down. He didn't have to do nothing.
That didn't go through the same things we went through because they reacted immediately. Him waiting for as long as he did is what drove this into the problem that it became.
Margarine is just there to disrupt and cause drama. That's the only thing she's good for. She's passed no bills. She's done nothing productive. All she does is just talk smack. I don't even want to deal with her. What I really want to deal with right now is the House passes a GOP bill to sanction the International Criminal Court as it seeks arrest warrant for Netanyahu. So it says the House on Tuesday passed a Republican-led bill that would impose sanctions on the International Criminal Court after its top prosecutor recommended war crimes charges against Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu. The legislation passed in a 247 to 155 vote. 42 Democrats crossed party lines to help Republicans pass the bill despite opposition from the White House. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we reported on this earlier. The House also passed a bill where it was going to make it, illegal for you to call Israel Nazis, to speak anything bad about Israel or Jews, which basically would have took away your freedom of speech. They would have got rid of the Bibles. That's the only thing I ever agreed with MTG about, and she's an idiot.
Hey, I'm like this. At the end of the day, man, when you're looking at something like that, and the White House even came out against it, they knew it was wrong. I mean, we're sanctioning a commission or a committee that we understand is good for the international community as a whole. We're all angry about it that they're actually going after the correct people. This guy has killed 36,500 people, and that's like at the low end.
And they haven't even found all the holes under the hospital.
And wounded another 82,000 injured. Like you said before,
the arms missing, legs missing.
Yeah, with these people.
I saw a picture of the baby that was starved to death. Did you see that? The guy's son was holding his baby, his 7-month-old baby was starved to death because they have no food to eat.
I'm like this, man. I mean, real, like, okay, she's starving people. Like they're telling y'all, we're going to cut off their food. They came out and said this at the beginning. No food, no water, no electricity at the very beginning. They blew up all their houses. If this isn't a war crime, I don't know what it is, because it's not even a war. You guys understand that we're using terminology like war. War is between two countries.
With weapons.
These people are not, this is not a war. This is not even an independent state. This is like us fighting against Spokane. The whole Washington state against Spokane. That's not a war.
Whoa, brother. Whoa, hold on. Spokane, get the money, man.
I like Spokane. I'm just using that.
I'm just messing with you. No, you're right. You're right.
That's what this is like. And us just invading Spokane with our people just onslaught where they don't have tanks. They don't have aircraft. They don't have any of this shit. They don't have any real missiles. This person said, man, basically, he's an Israeli. This guy's really smart. I can't remember his name right now, but he's an intelligent guy. He was like, man, basically their bombs are like glorified fireworks, man. That's what they have. Their missiles that they're shooting off are like glorified fireworks.
They just came out and said they don't even have the weapons anymore to defend. Hamas doesn't even have weapons anymore to defend themselves.
They didn't really have this shit to begin with. They were not. This is not a real army, man. This is like the Taliban from before, riding around in trucks and shit with AKs and shit like that, and calling themselves an army because don't nobody else in the hood got guns.
Yeah,
you know, motherfuckers ain't got no guns. We deeper than y'all.
It's like living in New York.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
where all the gangsters and the thugs got guns, and you just standing there like, dang.
You know, like, damn, you know what I mean? But so that's not even this is not even a real, like, this is not a war. This is a one-sided attack. They've come to, you haven't heard about them attacking Israel too much. You haven't heard about, they're back and forth. There's a line that they can't get across. Anywhere they want to go, they're rolling right in there with their tanks and whatever else they got going on, man. And they're killing and innocent people as they go, because they told them, you go around the corner, don't ask questions, just shoot. And we've been good with it. They said this is the real true facts of this case right here. 36,500 people killed, 82,000 injured, 15,000 children. 15,000 children are dead. At least that's bottom number. That's not to say 15,000. It's probably 16, 17,000. They have like another 40, 50,000 people who they don't even know where they are right now.
They killed so many people, they had to lie and say, nah, it's half that.
You feel what I'm saying to you? At the same time, in the West Bank, which there's no conflict in the West Bank, Hamas is not in the West Bank. That's where the PLA is there. The Palestinian, I can't remember something authority, Palestinian Authority. It's in the West Bank. Okay, they've killed 500 civilians in the West Bank where there's no Hamas. These are just regular Israeli civilians taking out, exacting revenge and killing people themselves.
And then they're committing
October 7th. They've killed 500 of them in 8 months. This was like they normally would kill about 200 a year. Normally kill about 200 of them a year.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
I'll knock off 200.
And Israel's just doing all kind of crazy stuff. Excuse me. And an Iranian general has been killed in a suspected Israel airstrike near Syrian city of Aleppo, nearly 2 months after the Islamic Republic warned it would retaliate against attacks on its interests.
They're still doing this shit, man. They're still blowing up. I mean,
it was a targeted bombing.
Me, man. You know what I mean? And I know it's kind of conspiratorial, but I feel like they killed the Iranian president, like Rishi. Yeah, his name was. I think they killed him. Do you want to add? I mean, that just doesn't make sense. You guys are friendly. Israel is. Look this up. Israel has been having very good ties with Azerbaijan. That's where he was at. He flew into Azerbaijan. It was like for a dam commencement. They're opening up a new dam between Iran and Azerbaijan. They have a border there. They're opening up a dam. He flew in there on his helicopter. Israel has great relations with Azerbaijan. Great. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden now you leave here and not just the president, but the defense minister and everybody else, all the high cabinet members get on your plane with you. There's 3 planes. They all get on your plane with you. And then you guys fly up and they say they see a cloud. And next thing you know, your helicopter is out of control. There's only one cloud in the sky. That's what they basically said. It's like one cloud and they flew through it. Next thing you know, their plane's out of control and their plane crashes. Yeah, it's conspiratorial. I admit.
It probably happened.
To me, I'm like, it just doesn't, you guys just bombed them. They bombed you. Now all of a sudden the plane crashed. And this dude was next in line to become the Ayatollah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, back to it's just a crazy, all this shit is just too coincidental. You're still knocking off that. I mean, just like in northern Israel right now, and the Hezbollah has just bombed. I don't have the article on me, but Hezbollah just bombed northern Israel. I mean, this is Iran. I think it's probably because of what just happened.
Yeah.
I would assume, you know what I mean? And right now there's pictures of Israel on fire, but I don't know how deep they've struck into Israel. I don't know if they really gotten to any like population centers. It looked like a lot of like farmland or whatever the case may be. Just it was a blaze though. It looked like it was on fire.
Yeah, no, it was under attack. Iran attacked it.
It was definitely on fire. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they got problems, and the rest of the world is starting to see through the bullshit with Israel. We just are. Everyone is. And now this is, I mean, they're about to.
Actually, yeah, no, it says the fire in northern Israel threatens homes in the Gali region, with police ordering evacuations. Coming amid a heat wave, authorities believe the blaze to be caused by Hezbollah drone and rocket attacks fired from southern Lebanon.
Yeah, I mean, you know that Netanyahu just accepted an invite to go to address a joint session of Congress here in America. Like, Mike Johnson, he's going to make sure the House of Representatives, the House Speaker, made sure that he went out there and said, hey, we want to give Netanyahu a chance to come talk. Talk about what? That you just killed 36,000 people? You know what I mean? Like, what is there to talk about? What are you going to convince us of? That the 1,200 that you say that got killed on October 7th, I'm not going to say that you say that were murdered on October the 7th, which is a horrific crime, period. And then the 300 plus hostages that they took, and probably a lot of them are killed, probably raping women, all kind of shit they were doing. I saw a video of it. The shit was fucked up. I mean, nobody's going to sit here and defend people breaking across a border, even though, we can go tit for tat and say whatever it is. And
it's overboard. It was overboard after the first 2 months.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been this conflict has been going on too long. They need to break up, get a 2-state solution, go back to the I think it was the 1967 borders, get it together, and then let that situation just kind of dissipate. I would hope that the people in the Middle East could respect the fact that these Poland European Jews who are there now, this is their home. They're not going anywhere. They got people who are going to help them, supply them with weapons. I think it was when they first moved, when they first got in there, 1948, I think it was, or 49, they were attacked by basically like 5 different countries: Iraq, I think Jordan, I think Syria, Egypt, all of them, Saudi. I think they all attacked them. They were like, oh, they fought them off. You know how they fought them off? They didn't have no fucking weapons. You know who gave them the weapons? We did. You know who helped them fight and helped them with strategy? We did. Not just us, but Britain, their European buddies who looked at them like, okay, you kind of look like us. We'll stick you over there and make sure you're good. Because they tried to give them, like I said, Nigeria. They tried to give them a piece of Chad. They tried to give them Madagascar. They tried to put them in other places besides there. They're like, no, we want the Holy Land. So they gave it to them. You know what I mean? So this is not like, you guys need to figure this shit out, man.
Yeah.
Period. You guys need to stop looking at these people like they don't belong here. These are vermin. These are no good people, blah, blah, blah. I mean, because we see who the people are who are fucked up in the situation. And it's you guys, period. I'm not going to say Hamas are great people. Yeah. Because they're not. Obviously. They went in there and they killed 1,200 people. I'm going to say for no reason. Because shit, if there's a reason, then start a war and let a war be a war. You know what I mean? But you killed 1,200 people who didn't have nothing to do with it, man.
Supposedly.
I think they killed 1,200 people, bro.
Yeah.
I saw.
But I mean, we're going to keep you updated on all these subjects that we're talking about.
Mexico elects Claudia Sheinbaum, its first woman and first Jewish president. Claudia Sheinbaum has made history, becoming the first woman and first Jewish person elected as president of Mexico. Sheinbaum is a climate scientist and the former mayor of Mexico City. She is a close ally of Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, who has been credited with lifting millions of Mexicans out of poverty. Preliminary results show Sheinbaum received at least 58% of the vote, easily defeating her closest rival, Galvez. Sheinbaum addressed supporters in Mexico City. So, I mean, this is a pretty big deal. You know what I mean? Mexico has gotten a woman president before the United States. I know that's one thing they brought up. We did this before the United States did it, which was probably a big reason why. I'm not saying she's not qualified. I'm sure she's overqualified, being who she is. She was president of one of the largest cities. I mean, not president, but mayor of one of the largest cities in the world. Yeah. Mexico City's huge, like 30 million people or some shit like that. It's crazy. So she's more than qualified. She's a climate scientist, everything else. But I think that probably drove them as well. And then they have a huge women's movement in Mexico, which they're really pushing women's rights there. They made them like in the Senate and in the House and the Parliament, like start holding standards. Like we want at least 50-50, or whatever, 60-40, you know what I'm saying? Because they weren't letting women really get into office there. The men were obviously, they're killing people over that motherfucker. They knocked off 38 other candidates. So the men were kind of rolling over them. So this is a huge accomplishment. And I'm really happy for Mexico that they were able to accomplish this and make it happen. She's not only a woman, she's also a Jewish person. And I think Mexico's probably predominantly Catholic. And so it's a huge accomplishment. It shows a lot as far as growth of a country, because I don't think we've gone outside of Christianity.
It's supposed to be separation. I mean, as a president,
not as a president, we have not one time. So for them to have done that, to double down and do not only a woman but also whether it's a Jewish or whatever she is, but a Jewish woman at the same time, that's huge, and it shows a tremendous amount of growth. So kudos to Mexico. Hopefully she continues on with Obrador's economic growth, and you guys kind of can get out of that whole entire slump of where you guys are having 30,000 murders every year. This is ridiculous. So
yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, we're going to keep you all updated like we always do. This is Uncommon Courtesy. Like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Don't forget our sponsor, Crime Scene Seasoning.
Doc Love the Kids. I'm saying doclovethekids.org. Go check it out. He definitely would be supporting a great cause.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next time.